List in Python has uh, significance, actually speaking. Just open my ideas once. Let me grab something else. Yep. A list in Python is signified by these square braces. You can get lists like this. So it says a list, it's an empty list. You can also declare like this. So it still says that list. It's a syntax error. Now when I say this, it again says that it's a list. And you can also declare list using range function. So there are a couple of ways to declare a list. And if you want to print the result of what this range does, it just shows 0, 10. What it typically does is it stores a list of 10 numbers. So to access them, so this is how you access them. Typically, we need to talk more about the implementation of a list. List is nothing but most probably an array in Python. So we can always access a list using the indices of your given list. And then, of course, it is prone to list string formatting also that we discussed in previous class. But list has an additional feature in Python. It can be prone to or compatible with list comprehension too. So this list comprehension we'll discuss in later after we are done with all the data structures. But list comprehension is a shortcut and it's a powerful tool, powerful weapon for us right now available, and is available only for Python right now. So there is something called Lambda, which is significantly popular. It creates anonymous functions. It does a lot of different stuff. So whatever now in nowadays, maybe from the couple of 6 months or so, Lambda is not being used that much because list comprehensions has replaced this Lambda entirely. So what is the significance of this list comprehension? Just on a higher level, we'll discuss today, just to appreciate more about the list. But I don't think you can understand it now. That's why I'm not showing it. Yeah. So in order to read a matrix and print a transpose of it, so we can just declare a matrix like that. I hope you have an idea about matrices and stuff. Just a second. Gosh. Okay. This is not listening to my word. I don't know why. So this is a sample example of a list comprehension. What you got is a transpose of all these elements. So if you want to execute this in another language, first you need to read out the matrix entirely. Step one. For that, you need two for loops. We'll discuss all this later, but as summary of it, I'm just telling you to appreciate more about the list comprehension, what it is, because you're not acquainted with for loops and all, right? So I'm just giving you a brief summary. So you need two for loops to read this matrix first, and then after you read all this and store in separate loops, you then have to implement a logic of making I to j. So if you see one, this is nothing but A00, 2, A01, 3, A02, 4 is nothing but A03, like that. 5 is A10, A12, A13, A14, like that. So you need to make this Aij as Aji for transport to work correctly. This is the logic that you implemented in your 10th class, or maybe in your matriculations or something like that. So the same logic you have to implement and then print out in another two for loops. So that's a large bunch of code, right? But in Python, when you use list comprehensions, you got this code just like that in a single line. And if I want to do this, so this is the list. But a list comprehension is always a performance efficient, optimized, and it's implemented by generator function. Just remember that for now. It is optimized and efficient. We'll come back to this later. That's why we need to have a knowledge about lists and how they are implemented, and then how to use this list comprehension and stuff like that. Okay. So give me 1 second. I just wanted to send the reminders for everybody. There seems like they're not joining. I got message from Sushmita, but I don't know what there. Yeah, Vijay is there, right? Fine. Yep. So we are talking about a typical list. It will be the one. Here is this. So this has got some attributes. So append of, let's say, one. So basically the definition of list is it's a storage, a container of different elements or data types or data structures. You can embed any kind of a data structure, a simple data structure in that is available in Python. So I just appended or stored an additional integer. So I can also append a string. I can also append another list inside this. I also can append a set inside this list. So you can deal with all kind of data structures. Maybe I just appended tuple. I also can append something like this, which is nothing but a set. There you go, you got this set, right? So, and I can also do this. Right? So that's about dealing with elements. You can embed everything and anything. Let me just declare another random list. Yeah, your tasks will be like, yeah, another interview question. Yeah. I don't know if you're
planning to append it at least, but still we are maintaining a sheet specifically for interviews. So this is a usual general question which I ask for a bit less experienced candidates. How do you remove duplicates in a large data set? The answers will be there are various approaches to remove it. You declare another empty list, append every element from this list to this list. While you are appending, you check it for the presence of that element in your new list. So for example, your data set is A, it's a list. Declare another B, it's also an empty list. For I in A, I mean for every element in A, add B dot append that I. If not present, if that I is not existing in B. That's how you eliminate. That's a common approach. But if you are dealing with a large data set, again, it's a performance issue. Then I traverse like that for an interview. But the best answer that you can use that you can give is B is equal to set of A. You saw that, right? The duplicates are removed. 3 is a duplicate and now it's removed. 32 has a duplicate, now it's removed. So that's how, if you know how to play with data structures and their behavior, you can always optimize your solutions. So that's about it. And if you want to sort, you can just do this. But if I print this A, it is sorted, I agree, but it changed the original list, right? Many a times you don't want that to happen. So then what to do is, you'll declare it with another variable, which means you're not changing the original one. So B is equal to A dot sort. So your B changed. Just a second. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. So you gotta do that using sort. So what you can do is B is equal to sorted of A. You can do that, and then sorting happens for B. But your original data set A will remain as is. My bad, what happened here? Okay, we sorted here, right? Let me just do this again. Hope you're following. If you're confused, just let me know. B is equal to sorted of A. So your A is still A, which is not sorted version, and your B is sorted. That's how you can change you can use this sort function. It is like without changing the original data set. So that's one about this attribute. And A dot, the attributes will have something called count. When you open it up, the value, in the sense, if I just give 3, it says 2 times. A dot count again. If I say 10, it says 0. So how do you count the number of elements in your data set or number of words in your file? So it's like that. For example, if I want to, let's say, so this is UA, and you got this order of this A, right? So let me just append something here. Let's say 1. Your A is this one. Now do sorted of this. And let's say I think I pressed L or V1. I don't know. So this is your A. Great, it's already sorted. And another attribute that we can do is, yep, pop. If I just say pop, it will just pop out the last element. But if I say pop with an index, let's say first index, it will take out the element that is present in the first index. So that's pretty much useful functionality here. And insert is used to insert the elements in as per the index. Let's say this is the object that we are in interest of to insert, and then if I say insert in the second index, that's what happens. And then if you say sorted off, yay, you saw that, right? So integers took the first preference or priority, and then came this string. And yep, I also wanted to emphasize more on extend versus append. I want to just say, let's say extend a. So one difference is extend is not possible for integers. So let me just do it for this one. It got extended, right? So it's now like, let's do append of a. You got the same operation done for append as well, right? So what is the difference? Other than the compatibility issue. So if it is not compatible and append is working quite fine, you can append integers also, then it's better not to have extend operation at all, right? So
can you tell me the extend operation again?
Yeah, sure. So I did not start it yet. What I'm saying is, if I do extend operation first, the basic is it's not compatible with integers. You cannot extend using integers.
Mm-hmm.
And then for strings, let us say, if you want to extend your list, this is what happens. And if you even append, let's say, yeah, it is getting the same operations done as extend, right?
Yeah.
So what is the difference? This is a basic interview question. So when you see this, what happens here is, if you observe, append is doing whatever extend is doing, and extend operation is not operable and not compatible with integers. So why not we take it off? So the answer to is, you'll understand it more better when you try to extend it using a list. So this is what happens when you extend the list using another list. But when I do this with append, this is what happens. Did you find the change? Yeah. Observed the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So append means tell me.
Yeah. Go on. I need a response from you actually.
Okay. So append means it will show the result in the brackets.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I did not understand what's the difference between the extend and append.
You should never say the interview that it will show.
No. I'm just asking you. I didn't get that
So, yeah, okay.
difference.
Sushanti, any idea about this?
So
Think about it. Hello. చెప్పండి అదే కదా వీకెండ్ క్లాస్ కదా ఉంటుంది Yep. So, any idea? Did you Google it, someone? So the extend is, it is extending the original list, but append will append the element as is to the original list. This is what you have to say. So it defines, right, the attribute definition itself, it defines. So extend in the sense, it will not retain the property of the element that you are adding. So what is the element you are adding here? A list. It will not retain the property of a list when it is extended. Instead, it will give the property of that original list to this one. In the sense, now this list, whatever you are adding in the extend, is merged and it has become a part of this element, this list. It's just like a regular element inside this. Whereas this append has appended it as another element, entirely another element. Yeah, this is an important interview question. You need to note it down, or you can also follow this Excel sheet if need be. Where are we now? So yeah, and if I just say reverse, this is what I get. And if I have to access elements, I can just do this. And again, reverse will change the original list. You got to remember this. And if I do this, I'll get all. If I do this, I'll still get all. Do you remember this? If I do this, we'll get another. Or do you want me to repeat it again? Start, stop, step. Have any idea about these things? Anyone of you?
Yes.
What is it? Yes, in the sense, what is, yes, you want me to say it or you remember it so I can skip it?
Yeah, it's like start, stop. If you give the 0 to 3, it will print the 0 and 1 values.
Where we discussed this?
We discussed in some.
It's been just 3 classes or 4 classes maybe we've been through. We need to be attentive about this. Where did we discuss? We discussed it in integers, right?
Yeah, integers.
And did you remember it now?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Start, stop, step is never a part of integer. How do you do that in integers? It's called string slicing. We discussed it in strings. Okay. Just definitely go back and to your videos, brush up your basics so that it's a continuation, whatever we are discussing. So don't leave them.
Okay.
Again, um, start and stop at fifth index. You'll get the starting value as inclusive and stop value as exclusive. Where is this one? Okay. Yeah, this is a nested one. So let's say your list is like this. And if you say 1:2, then this is what you get. If you say 1:4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3 maybe. So this is what basically whatever I'm talking about. But if you say 0, 1, oh, it says there's no attribute called get item. So this is another thing I wanted to discuss. The reason why you are able to get this one is, I mean, the reason why you're able to actually access elements through indices is this one. Okay. So get item of an index maybe. So it's like that. This attribute is not functioning when I gave 0, 1, right? So what happened here is, let me just go here. If you don't understand me, and if you don't understand or confused about something, just let me know. I'll explain you in detail any number of times. But I want to make sure you answer it in the next session. That's the whole point of it. So when I say this here, I'll get 2. So what is this one here? Any clue? Any stone to throw?
The element which is present in the zeroth state of the
In the 0th element, we have 4 different elements, right? So it brings the in the 0th elements, the first element it will print.
Okay. Yep. So it's nothing but traversing in a nested list,
Yeah.
right? So, yep, you got the point. So we can traverse in a nested list like that. Basically, your data will not be a simple list, or it will be, nowadays the format is in JSON, which is dictionaries. So it will be helpful if we discuss more on the nested dictionaries later. But yeah, this is about nested dictionaries and nested lists, sorry, and how to traverse between them. You basically have to write 2 for loops to traverse. So we'll discuss about when we enter into loops. Let me just say, you got this right, what I did it now. These are just tricky questions in interview, what you can or you may expect. So when you multiply, it's basically that times it is repeated, and it creates a string by default. If you are manipulating with string, it creates a list by default if you're manipulating with a list. But this one, if you do this with tuple, it doesn't happen. Why? I mean, I used to confuse the people when they're in the interview panel. You can just sort it out and come back to me. I'll not ask this question. Yeah,
Because tuple is immutable, that's why.
got it. Got the answer. Perfect. Um, okay, you cannot change that tuple because it is immutable, so that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Now, yeah, your EA is, oh, is it changed? Okay, sorry. We are dealing with the lists now. Let me add this as well to interview questions. And one more thing here is, what are we discussing? I lost it, I think. So yeah, multiplication of parameters, and we are discussing about that. So
Did we discuss about the magic methods that are available in the list? Insert remove is there again. we can remove as per the index. Also, we can remove the first occurrence of it using this. So if you have 2 4s, the first occurrence of the 4 will be removed. And removing as per the index is nothing but popping out, and in that you need to declare the index. Yep. When you say add operator here, and I add this one, what do you observe? Is it equal to your options? Is it equal to extend or is it equal to append?
It's equal to extend.
Okay. Man, I had this one. So this is nothing but contains. Contains instance, I say this one, it's again a boolean. It returns only true or false. Let's play with this now. If I, let's say, give 30, it says false. That's about contains. The attribute, let's say you got this right. So extend is not possible for integers. Even this del attribute is not possible for integers. Let me just you got this right. So if you don't have that attribute, it says there's no attribute. Oh, sorry, my bad. So list object doesn't have attribute called Terry. Only if you have attributes which occurs in classes, this del attribute will work. We'll come across it in our whoops. I usually use it a lot in while implementing the classes. So this is not our concern now. This del item. So if you say this, your 2 is gone. Right? Previously you have 2 2s in that. So let me just show it again. In a second. Zero, 1, 2. Oh, sorry. So it is getting operated upon the index. So second index element is getting removed. So that's what it is happening with del item. So there are a couple of attributes and methods and their significances. You need to, you don't have to buctify all of them. Just this is a helper tool and then you can sort it out, right? But you need to remember a significant ones which you use in real time. That's what I would like to emphasize more. So this del item is equivalent to popping out as per the index, right? So that's about it. Even in pop you give index, but in del item also you give the index of the element. So each magic method or a hidden method is compatible with one of the available attributes. That's one clue that you can make use of while you're dealing with any module or any default functions available in Python. So
Can you explain the del attribute and del item again?
oh, sorry. So when you speak about del attribute, so this is your list. it says the helper tool says name. So maybe an attribute. Let's say everything is an object in Python. So why not I give something like this? So it says attribute error. There is no attribute called Terry, right? This comes into picture while we implement something called monkey patching. So we'll talk about it in while we are discussing OOPS. So that's not the context now. So you'll not understand it. So for every instance, we create certain attributes manually, and then we'll patch them up with their own meaning, and we can then delete those attributes in future. But what we need to specifically focus here is del item. Del item is nothing but, so for that, this is your list. 0, 1. One index is having 3. If I give 1, you got your 3 gone, right? So if you got B in your first index, if I give pop, it's gone, right? But the difference is when you pop it out, you'll get this displayed. But when you use del item, it will not get displayed. It will just remove it. Understood?
Yeah.
So these are all some basic attributes that we make use of. And coming to sets, you can just declare set like this. You can just say A is equal to this, which will be a list, and B is equal to set of A. In the sense, B will become like this, or you can say B is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So C is nothing but, sorry, we're discussing about tuples. My bad. Sets is the last topic. I mean, after tuples, we'll discuss set and frozen set and then dictionaries. So I can just say tuple of A. So your B will be like this. So while we are discussing about list, everything that is embedded inside this square brackets is a list. But for tuple, everything that is embedded in the parentheses is in this parenthesis, it will be called as tuple. Yep. So for a tuple also, you can just access it by indices because the implementation is again as arrays. So again, this works. Oh, sorry. But no one has tried this. I mean, we'll use this slicing for this, but still, you can make use of. So start, step, stop. I want to repeat this session again. So that's about tuple. But speaking about tuple, you only have two attributes: count and index. When you say 56, you just get the value of index. So it is used to search. How do you search an element in tuple? That's what you do. And again, this one is all like the get operations or manipulations using magic methods. This will not change. You can explore all by yourself, but the basic difference, let me just name it out. And then yep, we can just make use of the same list. So is equal to set of A. We'll define a set. So set is basically used for as a set element, set and relations. If you might have heard about those. So set has a basic property of eliminating the duplicates, as we have seen a few minutes earlier. How do you remove the duplicates in Python? Just by passing through a set like that. And the main properties of this set that is handy for you is finding the intersection of data.
finding the difference in the data. So there are two different data sets available, two humongous Excel files with you. How do you intersect those? How do you know write a code to bring the common data that is present in the two files like that? So you can just find the code directly here. You can just declare two sets and you can say intersection. So we'll just see for an example. So difference of A will return, this is the difference. So in the sense, it's nothing but B minus A, elements which are present in B and not present in A. So B dot intersection of A. So it's nothing but the set intersection that you do. There are also other operations called union, superset, subset, is subset. So it returns a Boolean operator if it is a subset, like true or false, like that. And it is mutable. You can add elements to your set. B dot add, oh sorry, four, let us say, I think we cannot add 4 because it is already present. So if you see, the original set is not altered. And one more thing, I don't know about ideally, but let me declare a set here. Let's say you got this output as in a different way, right? Java started first. If you see again, I executed some twice or thrice. Maths is the first one, and now English is the first one. Java, Python. So it goes on like that because the storage of set is designed in such a way that it is randomized always. So it is optimized for the traversal and eliminating the duplicates. We can call it as radix storage. I don't want to confuse you much, but just take it as radix format, how you store it, and it is used for searching and removing the duplicates. And not much of sets you use too often. And there's something else called frozen set. And how you declare a frozen set is you just need to give a keyword called frozen set. It means it will be immutable. You cannot add when you try to add this one. So you got this right. So the only difference is attributes that are available for sets and frozen sets. It changes. Any doubts till now? And yes, you can have any kind of elements inside any kind of data structure. I mean, tuple can accept list. A set can accept a tuple like that. No doubt, right?
No.
Yep.
So what you will get here if you add 1, you got an error, right? So let me just read it. This is your tuple. So can I add, what if I try to assign something? So you can also change the existing elements in your list like this, right? A of 3 in the sense third index of the element list, assign this value. But for a tuple it doesn't support, right? Because it is immutable. But how about this one? Will it work? Any guess? Yes or no? Just the answer. at the Boolean operator. True or false?
It's false.
Why? False in the sense it will not work.
Because in the
No,
no, it will work.
It will work. Why?
Because in the zeroth element, the second element is 3, right?
Okay. Then
Yeah, it will. It will work.
how about this then?
Yeah, it will work, I think.
You cannot assign, right? Just now we discussed. You cannot assign something which is already declared in tuple. We cannot modify the tuple. Right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So now tell me, will this work? No, right?
No.
Any more odd answers on this? It will work. Okay, maybe I'll just do something like this. Now it got changed, right? So it depends on the actual data structure that you wanted to change. It's a list. It's a mutable one, but still it is present in the inside an immutable one. So if you want to try something, try accessing this mutable one inside an immutable one, then it will work. So it's another interview question that I usually play with. I think that should do for this session. If there are no doubts, you can close up. I just really want to know your compatibilities with your data structures. Follow up the videos. Of all these, the basics are important for Python. These videos, whatever we're discussing now, keep them with you. Go through multiple times. Make sure you understand them. So, no doubts, right?
We have a class tomorrow.
I did not get the confirmation from Satish yet, so I'll revert back if at all. There's no class tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, if it is there, I'll let you know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
See you then. Bye.
Yeah, bye.